But Chivame, are you worried that Peter Obi might not be able to replicate the numbers that he garnered in the 2023 election if he is on the ballot in 2027?
We are not just running election and just making speculation out of the blues. We also carry out that, we also collect data. We do a lot of engagement. I just came back from a journey, I told you. So these are the things we do behind closed door. And we know what is there. And we know that the only person that this government does not want to be on the ballot is Peter Obi. They are doing everything.
So Peter Obi can defeat Bola Tinubu?
Go and count how many times Bayo Ononuga has posted about Peter Obi on his Twitter page.
What does that mean?
He's worried. He's worried about Peter Obi. They are worried. They don't talk anything without talking about Peter Obi.
If Atiku Abubakar, you think Tinubu is not afraid of Atiku Abubakar?
He's not.
He's not afraid of Rotimi Amechi? He's not afraid. He's the only person Tinubu is afraid of is Peter Obi.
He's on record. They know it. There's a high level of fear.
If Peter Obi goes head to head with Bola Tinubu, you think Peter Obi will beat Bola Tinubu?
We got into this democracy in 1999. The APC did everything to defeat Bola Tinubu in Lagos. They couldn't. They did everything. They brought further might, they brought resources, they brought connection. They could not. It took the Peter Obi to garner about 1 million votes that was reduced to 500,000 votes. It took a Peter Obi to come to FCT when there was seat of power to defeat the Tinubu. It took a Peter Obi, go and watch a Premium Times report, report.
There are feelers that the only viable option to be able to defeat Bola Tinubu or the APC is to unite. Have a formidable force that coming together. They coming together of the opposition forces to come together to battle against Bola Tinubu. If not, there's no way. That those who are of that opinion.
I speak for myself, and Peter Obi himself knows, even as much as we have argued about these things, and he knows my opinion, and I've never been shy of saying my opinion. I don't think that is the situation. I think that we must have a proper opposition meeting where it's properly organized and towards having a candidate that is acceptable by the people. We can't just decide on our own that we are going to force something through the throat of those who are going to vote for us, because whether you like it or you don't want to believe it, is in power. So you can't come and bring somebody that will not be able to excite the young population, that will not be able to excite the electorate to go to the polls and vote.
Does Peter Obi excite the younger population?
People are injured. I saw in Lagos where a lady got her eye, almost removed, and she went back after treatment to go and vote.
You think that will be replicated in 2027?
It will go more than that. People are disappointed, no doubt. I saw a lot of people disappointed because they saw the vote being stolen, they saw the mandate disappeared, they saw a lot of things happen, they saw the glitches that are unexplained in today.
I know that the system is afraid of Peter Obi. We know because they know the truth about what. Of course, I know so. The government is aware of Peter Obi's performance in the last elections, and they know he is their main problem, not Atiku. Never mind the fraudulent things that INEC wrote. Those things don't mean nothing. We know Peter Obi was the man of the last election. So if acrobatically they refuse to allow the result to stand, and somehow they now brought Tinubu and imposed Tinubu, good. Tinubu would not forget that the position he holds is like Abacha. Abacha never let Abiola rest because they knew, even though they didn't allow Humphrey Musu to announce the election results, Abiola was the person that they had to be afraid of. So if the government today is afraid of Peter Obi, they know a lot about the true numbers of the voting results than they are willing to admit to the general public.
I have been saying it all along that the APC is actually very afraid ahead of the 2027 elections. Yes, on the surface, it may appear as if they already have everything worked out. And that is true when you look at all the defections going on across the country. Almost all the state governors in Nigeria now seem to be in the APC. The National Assembly also appears more like an extension of the executive branch than an independent arm of government. They openly sing Tinubu's song, On Your Mandate, right there on the floor of the National Assembly, which is honestly very shameful. Many members have defected to the APC, and the institution no longer looks like a place of checks and balances, but a place of political loyalty to one man. The judiciary is not left out either. They appear to be acting like another extension of the executive branch. We all saw when they even sang Tinubu's personal song to him the other day. That was not only embarrassing to the judiciary as an institution, but also embarrassing to Nigeria as a whole. I can go on and on about several things that when you look at them on the surface, you will think the APC is already firmly positioned for 2027. However, when you look deeper and you analyze the situation more objectively, you will realize that they are actually not confident in themselves when it comes to 2027. One of the easiest ways to know this is their unusual obsession with destroying opposition parties. If they truly had everything figured out, as some people claim, why are they constantly going after opposition parties? Why are they deeply involved in crises happening within opposition structures? Labour Party and PDP have openly accused APC of sponsoring and fueling the internal problems in their parties. Members of these parties themselves have said that APC is behind many of the crises. So, for the fact that APC already has almost all the governors, the National Assembly and even the judiciary seemingly on their side, yet they are still afraid of strong opposition, is a big sign that despite the show of strength they display, they are actually very scared. This is exactly what I have always described as political posturing, where a party displays strength externally, but internally they are shaking. That is the case of APC right now. If they were truly confident, they would not be bothered about the opposition. They would not be working hard to weaken opposition parties. Their actions show fear, not confidence. Their actions show panic, not certainty. Their actions show that they do not have everything figured out as they want Nigerians to believe. So, as opposition supporters, do not be moved by their show of dominance. Do not be intimidated by the defections, the displays of power, or the loud noise they make. Deep down, they are afraid of a united and strong opposition. What I advise the opposition to do now is to come together and form a serious coalition. They should unite their strengths and field a strong southern candidate with grassroots appeal. That is the only way to truly challenge APC. The opposition should not focus on who can win the primary. They should focus on who can win the general election. There is something called a consensus candidate, and that is what the coalition should be discussing, not a divisive primary that will only weaken them further. And when you look deeply and objectively, one candidate stands out clearly, and that is Peter Obi. He has the momentum, he has the credibility, and he has the mass appeal across regions, religions, and demographics. For that reason, I strongly suggest that if the opposition truly wants to win, they should make him the consensus candidate and use their structures to support him fully. But beyond selecting a candidate, the opposition must also find a way to checkmate INEC. They must ensure transparency in the electoral process. How exactly they will do this is something for them to figure out, but one thing is very clear. They must not trust INEC blindly the way many people did in 2023. Regardless of whatever reforms INEC may pretend to introduce, no matter what INEC says or promises, the opposition must be vigilant, must be prepared, and must insist on transparency. If the opposition comes together, fields a strong consensus candidate with nationwide appeal, strengthens their internal structures, and closely monitors INEC, then 2027 will be a different story entirely.